Welcome to July, which of course is named after Julius Caesar, who lived and died a few decades before Jesus' time, but had major impact on the Palestinian world. We enter this month and we continue with Acts 14 today, knowing full well that back then and today, the Jesus movement is in serious tension with the culture around us. Another reason we need good news. Acts 14, 16 through 20. In the past, he let all nations go their own way. Yet he has not left himself without testimony. He has shown kindness by giving you rain from heaven and crops in their seasons. He provides you with plenty of food and fills your hearts with joy. Even with these words, they had difficulty keeping the crowd from sacrificing to them. Then some Jews came from Antioch and Iconium and won the crowd over. They stoned Paul and dragged him outside the city, thinking he was dead. But after the disciples had gathered around him, he got up and went back into the city. The next day, he and Barnabas left for Derbe. Stoning led to death. It was capital punishment designed by the Pentateuch for sins like adultery, blasphemy, and idolatry. Usually they drop you off of a 15-foot cliff, but if that didn't do the job, they would drop a boulder on top of your chest from that height. It was ruthless, public, and communal. There were rules like you had to be warned, there were multiple witnesses, and a formal trial adjudicated by 23 judges. Also, Julius Caesar started a colonizing policy with the Jewish polis at the time that they wouldn't mess with their local court system unless they wanted an execution. But this one looked a lot less formalized like Jesus' execution and a little bit more like the mob lynching of Stephen in Acts chapter 7. So this group that traveled to kill Paul was probably not sanctioned by Mosaic law at all. They climbed the mountains, chased him down, and whether it was throwing stones or the cliff and boulder treatment, they were convinced he was dead and walked away. Some commentators say they didn't just think Paul was dead, he was actually dead, and that this is a resurrection. Others point to verse 20 and say that the saints came over, gathered around Paul, prayed for him, and that brought him back. The thing that sticks out to me is why go back into the city? Fine, let's celebrate the resurrection or you're alive, whatever, but why go back into the lion's den? A Christian principle I gather here is facing our fears. While our goal is to live at peace with everyone, we can't always avoid conflict. And here's an example where Paul just was not going to run and hide, but rather summon up the divine resilience he could find to continue the work God had called him to. What fear are you facing today? Maybe it's beaten you up so bad you don't even want to think about it, but sometimes you can't avoid it anymore. And just like it says in Proverbs 24:16, maybe you've been beaten down to the ground 7 times, but when you get back up, that makes you righteous. And when we do get up, it's not with wanton violence like some Roman soldier. No, it's with courage, bravery, faith, peace, and resolve. So let's go get our good news.